It's been said that self-inquiry is the most direct route to realizing the self.
That is one of the ways to go back home. Self-inquiry. Here our master has taught us devotion is one of the simplest and the safest way to return home. If you ask, what is devotion?
Yeah, what is devotion?
We think ourselves as a supreme being who is everything and beyond everything. We consider him as an impersonal person and give all our love and devotion to him. Means we aspire to go back to him. It is from him we have come back to this wandering life. So we are a part of him, which we have forgotten. Now, we think of him, as our master has told us, we must think of him, meditate on him, and when the mind becomes pure, we will be able to realize our oneness with him. So devotion is one of the ways. In the beginning, we see the divine or the Supreme Being as separate from us, because we have not understood that we ourselves are that. We think of him as a personality outside us or as a power outside us and give all our love and devotion to him. Then we come to understand that he is seated in our own heart. We are not different from him. Then effort begins to commune with him within ourselves. And finally, we realize our oneness with him. Then we can say, we have come back home. I have joined my father. As the story of the prodigal son.
So are you saying that in the beginning you must surrender to somebody, the teacher, the guru?
To somebody, you get guidance from the guru. Who is that guru? One who has become one with the Supreme Being, who has reached his original home, who knows what he really is. Then alone he can teach us.
So first you must find this kind of person.
Yes, first you have to find out person.
And then you surrender to him.
Yes. When we are actually aspiring to go back home, the Divine will arrange our contact with such a person who can guide us.
So you're saying that we don't really have to find our own teacher. The teacher will appear.
Of course, we have to strive hard to find such a person. Same time, divine adjustment is such that when we are seriously or intensely thinking of or aspiring for such a guide, he will provide at the right time.
Right. Yeah, that was my experience. I wasn't looking for any teacher. I had a strong question.
That's right.
And then existence arranged a meeting between this question and somebody.
Either you are taken to him or he comes to you.
In my case, the plane broke down and I was taken to him.
Right.
So then the first step is to surrender to the teacher.
Surrender to the teacher.
And the second step is that you realize that you're surrendering to something that actually is already your true nature.
That's right.
Because in the West, we're a bit nervous to surrender to somebody.
Surrender has a different meaning there. The surrender is defeat. If you say, use the word defeat, it is a defeat of the ego in us. The ego disappears. Accepting that I have no power, it is your power that has been working. And I have been claiming wrongly that I am responsible for it. Thus the ego surrenders completely.
So you're saying that when you deeply surrender to somebody, naturally the ego will fall away.
That's right. Somebody means the Supreme Being.
In the form of somebody.
That power, he controls the entire universe. To that power we surrender. That power and we are not different. But because of the ego sin, because of the sense of separation from him, we have been thinking that we have that power. We are doing ourselves. We are taking care of this body. We are doing this. We are doing that. When we practice saying that, I am nothing, O Lord. You are everything. Your power is absolute. It is by your power that everything happens in the universe. If you practice like that, the ego becomes thinner and thinner. Ultimately, it has no place.
We always say, I am raising my hand. I am raising my hand.
You say, though externally you may say so, you must be feeling that it is by God's power that we are raising the hand. That is the way to remove the ego sins. They say the ego does not exist at all. We are fighting something that does not exist. It's only ego sense of separation from God. Why? Because of ignorance, they say. That ignorance has to be removed. When that is removed, we know we are one with God, we have been one with God. Only for some reason we forgot we are one with God.
So in fact, you're saying it's a wrong idea that we have.
Correct.
And everything comes from this wrong idea.
It is like a king had a dream that he had become a beggar. The impact of the dream was so strong that even after waking up he felt he was a beggar. So he started roaming about in the streets begging. He forgot he was a king. People in the palace were after him. They went to call him and said, I have nothing to do with the palace. Then they took a wise man. They called him and said, you are not a beggar. No, I am a beggar. No, you are not. Then the saint asked him, you close your eyes. That means meditate on yourself. Close your eyes. And he closed his eyes, and took him to the palace. Kept him in the room. He saw, now open your eyes. And he saw the queen and the surroundings. Then he started remembering that he was here only. Somehow he has forgotten that. Oh, I am a king, no longer a beggar. That is realization. That is illumination. So we need somebody to tell us that we are not what we are now. We are that. That is why Guru is absolutely necessary for any spiritual aspirant.
It has been suggested that the mind must be destroyed for liberation to occur. Do you have a mind?
It has not the destruction of the mind can say purification. Remove all the thoughts, all the vasanas from the mind, then it becomes still. A still mind is as good as no mind. That's why they use the word destroying the mind.
Monanasa is in Hindi is monanasa. Monanasa.
Manonasha.
Yes.
Manonasha, destruction of the mind. I mean, you can put it in a different way. When the mind is purified, it ceases to exist as mind. You can call it manonasha. But it's not actually destroying it. Only removing the thoughts and the dirt in the mind. Then it becomes absolutely pure. And the pure mind is no mind actually. It is one with the Atman. That is what they use, manonasha.
And you mentioned the tendencies of the mind, vasanas. Can you say something about those tendencies?
Tendency means every thought leaves an impression. Every action leaves an impression in our mind. That is why I use the word, we are gathered out of dirt. Every thought, every good thought, every bad thought, every action, good or bad, leaves an impression or layer of dirt in the mind. You can imagine what we had done many years ago suddenly comes to our mind now. It has been there. All those things have to be removed before we can say we have shed all that we have earned during our lifetime. Then only we are absolutely pure, absolutely free or qualified for liberation.
And this, for example, when we went to Nityananda's ashram, there are many small caves where you can sit. So the feeling is that it takes many years of hard work to purify the mind.
Many years of hard work, definitely. Well, it depends upon how much we had gathered, how much dirt we had gathered. In some cases it is not difficult because they have not gathered much of a dirt. When the dirt is like a mountain, it takes a longer time.
And is there a way to remove these vasanas? Is there a way, a technique to remove the vasanas?
Because the mind is the block. What is standing in the way of our liberation has to be removed. And to remove the mind means, what is the mind after all? A bundle of thoughts. So we must be, that's what they say, use the word stilling the mind. Be still, know I am God. The process of stilling the mind is what we call sadhana, spiritual practice.
You mentioned earlier, be quiet.
Be quiet.
My own teacher was Papaji, Punjaji in Lucknow, and he always said, be quiet.
Be quiet. Still the mind, that's what it means. No waves.
Are there two levels of awakening? Is there awakening we can call self-realization and another level called enlightenment?
We can say once we have identified ourselves with our true self, we are enlightened. We know what we are. That is a stage. Then, when we come back to body consciousness, we get disturbed when we are in activity. So we are asked to do little more practice, which will lead us to a stage called Sahaja Samadhi. To identify everything in the universe with God. First experience is we have identified ourselves with the Atman, which is all-pervading. We have not touched the manifestation. Now we are able to see the entire manifestation is also God Himself in different names and forms. So we identify ourselves with the Atman and the universe. That's why if you ask a saint, who are you? He will say, I am the all-pervading truth or Atman. My body is the entire universe. Because he has lost his individuality. The ego has gone. The small circle is removed. He is without any circumference. He is one with the impersonal truth, nameless, formless Atman, and one with the entire universe, which is the manifestation.
And so you're saying the second stage is to establish in this universe.
And he lives a normal life. He doesn't need any more practice because he's already established in it.
Is that why it seems that most saints live a very ordinary, simple life?
Right, that's right. They have nothing more to do. They achieved their goal. And they are one with the entire universe. They are one with everybody. Their love flows towards everybody without any distinction of caste, creed or nationality.
I think everybody sitting here feels that with you. And so we can't even translate anything anymore. Their minds stop working.
What is your program tomorrow?
Tomorrow we're going to Pujya. We're going to visit Ajah.
What time should you go?
We haven't decided exactly in the morning, perhaps early in the morning.
We had been to Ajah a few months back.
Yes, you were going when I came here before. You were planning, I think, in 2 weeks to go there. Yeah. His health is better now.
Must have spent 15 days in Tirunamala, you said?
We're spending 21 days together.
21 days?
Yes. Most of the people came from Germany, and we've already spent some time together in Germany.
Did you meet Dr. Hugo Mayer there?
Dr. Who?
Hugo. He's in a place called Shantivanam.
I don't know.
Shanti Malay.
Oh, in Tiruvannamalai. Yes.
No.
I know him, but I didn't meet him.
Didn't meet him.
Has he been to see you?
He used to come here, spend months together here.
I see.
He was treating mother. He's a doctor, homeopathy doctor. He used to treat her mother here also.
I see. I have greetings from Hans.